then what you graduate doing what?
Actually, I wanted to get into
Knee surgery.
research, or I want to do financial engineering, which is two unrelated fields.
Okay.
But
You're throwing me all the content.
I'm not sure. I mean, I like both things. Like I like the whole biology, chemistry, physics, but I'm really into finance. So
Okay.
financial engineering is basically just all computer programming with like high level math, doing just financial analysis, things like that, making models and things. So I don't know.
Oh, mathematical model for finance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What they call it, financial models, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to be an engineer, do you?
No, it's called, this is like a new program basically. You know the Black-Scholes model, yeah. Basically, like these two professors, or I think three professors, got like a Nobel Prize in economics for this model. Okay, it's called the Black-Scholes model. Black-Scholes model.
Okay.
And basically, they basically started off financial engineering. So like, and this is like probably in 2001 or something like that. Okay.
Oh yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s, yeah. And they started financial engineering, the whole field. So it's a very new field, actually.
But when you talk about financial engineering, what is engineering does with the finance?
What's
the engineering part?
Engineering aspect is
It's
probably
like
just
Eh?
create. It's, I don't know. That's what they call it, but it's probably like creating the models. It's
Okay,
like
so,
engineering
okay.
models.
So engineering for the financial model, really.
Yeah, basically.
More than engineering, it's really okay.
Right. It's really yeah.
Okay.
Oh, because you're simulating
Yeah.
models and everything to that.
Okay, financial engineering.
I never heard the term before.
I know.
Yeah, it's a new thing. Like Cornell has the oldest, but the oldest is like 5 years. Berkeley just made one. UC Berkeley just made one. IIT here has one. It's very new.
Okay.
Columbia just made one. So. Northwestern doesn't have one.
Oh,
Yeah, so.
yeah.
So you study finance and computer science. Basically.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
And a lot of mathematics.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول رحمة العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So we're starting the 8 o'clock meeting at 10 minutes to 9, which is alhamdulillah okay. So we have with us Brother Mustafa and Brother Ashraf, so we're going to give him a chance to do ta'aruf, and we'll do ta'aruf too. So we'll start with Brother Imran.
My name is Imran. I'm 21 years old.
Not married.
Not married.
Good.
Studying electrical engineering. Been in America for 2 years.
And 3 years before, right?
Yeah, 2 years before that.
When you were
Total of 4 years.
Yeah. And he's from?
Malaysia.
My name is Basit. I'm 26. I'm married. I'm a 5th year PhD student in economics. This is my 9th year in the US now.
MashaAllah.
And
My name is Ashraf. I'm the IT consulting. Do I have to mention the age?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not 40 yet. I'm not 40 yet. I'll be 40 in March. Actually.
Is that right? MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
I'm married and I have 11 years old girl and 14 months old boy.
MashaAllah.
I've been here for 11 years now.
He's from Egypt, right?
Assalamualaikum, my name is Mustafa Abdul Rahman. I'm 19 years old. I'm doing biomedical engineering. And
For the time being.
Yes, inshallah, for the time being. And I was born in Los Angeles, California.
Where about in Los Angeles?
La Mirada. I actually live in Irvine, California.
Oh,
Yeah.
Orange County?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know Sheikh Sadullah Khan?
Sadullah Khan?
Yeah.
Good.
You know?
I know people by name, by face there. The only one I know by name is Muzammil Siddiqui.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
And then you are related to the Siddiqis.
Faisal Siddiqui.
Yeah, okay.
I hope he watches this.
Yeah, inshallah. We'll tell him twice. Yeah, I'm Faisal Hamouda, and I'm an engineer, and I live in Lyle, and I'm 63, and I have 3 kids and 13-year-old grandson. Now, last week we talked about being the messenger of the messenger. So now it is time for Bas and Brother Muhammad and Brother Imran to tell everybody what did we talk about last week, so we can build on this week.
I wasn't here last week, so I don't know what to say.
Okay. So that makes it easy for you now.
Oh.
Since no one knew what was said, you can say anything.
I can say anything, right?
Well, to see if you watched the videotape or not.
What's that?
Did you watch the videotape? Because it's taped, right?
Yeah, I didn't rewatch it.
You didn't rewatch it?
No.
Okay, you just put it on, but you didn't watch it. Okay.
I guess the main idea is that we're the messenger of the messenger, meaning we're not just practicing the message, but to also convey the message to other people, just as the Prophet ﷺ conveyed it to the people of Mecca and Medina, and through that, through the whole world. That's the main thesis of your speech.
That's the main thrust. Well, the issue is that anyone who is a Muslim is by default is the messenger of the messenger. Because the messenger have told us, بَلَّغُ عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةٍ. Narrate about me even if it's one ayah. So this means regardless, whatever knowledge we have, too much or too little, as far as we know one ayah, we have to go around and tell it. Now, a Muslim is the one that is going to be not only good in himself, but all the surrounding has to be impacted by his goodness. We were supposed to start making issues and putting titles of things, how we're going to be the messengers of the messenger. Now, we have to know who is the messenger and what it takes for us to be like him physically, spiritually, and intellectually. And then what's the message and how to deliver the message. So we haven't heard from anybody who's supposed to send something on the internet.
What's that?
Everyone was supposed to come up with issues and titles and topics and points. We have to. So since we didn't have that, let me throw one thing at us. Rasul ﷺ had a nickname before he became a messenger. Okay, and of course he's going to be the Sada Mustafa. he had a very distinct names before he became a messenger. He was known as.
He said it.
Amin.
Al-Amin, oh, I didn't hear it. Al-Amin, As-Sadiq Al-Amin. As-Sadiq Al-Amin. So Sadiq is what and Al-Amin is what?
And trustworthy.
And trustworthy. Okay. So Amin means he doesn't tell a lie, right?
No.
He doesn't tell a lie.
Isn't that Sadiq?
Sadiq, he doesn't tell a lie. And he tells the truth all the time. Now, how could we reach that level? And how could we reach that level of being trustworthy? Because even when he was leaving Mecca, when he's going to be killed, they still have trusted him with their value. And even when he is the Sadiq al-Amin, they didn't believe in him. Now, when we look around us and look into us, we're going to find that the truth, because not telling the truth is not truthful. For example, how many of us would get involved in a situation where our friends, our relative, or our brothers, or whatever, they are wrong, and we know they are wrong, but we don't speak up, say that they're wrong. Because this is the telling the truth. or hiding the truth. Because hiding the truth is this is really cold.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe I'm just sitting in that. Because not telling the truth is also lying. Holding the truth is lying. And not to be trusted. Now, the first one that we lie to is whom? When we lie.
Ourselves.
Ourselves. MashaAllah. Ourselves. And when we are not trustworthy, the first person which you are not trustworthy to is ourselves. Because you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُم. Do not be like those who have forgotten Allah and He made them forget themselves. Because when you forget yourselves, like what? There's a disease, since you're a biomedical. You forget. They call it what? Has a Z?
Amnesia, I was thinking.
No.
Alzheimer.
Alzheimer.
Alzheimer's, sorry.
So Alzheimer, you don't know what's going on. You don't know where you are. You don't know what you're doing, and who you are, and who people around you. I mean, this is people really. When they forget Allah, that's what happened to them. And why? Because they themselves will forget themselves. They don't know their place in society. They don't know place even geographically or whatever. And that's why we have to be very, very, very careful about telling the truth. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is hadith. He says, the believer can be adulterer. The believer can be a thief. Or the believer can commit adultery. The believer can steal. The believer can kill. But the believer does not lie. Does not lie whatsoever. Why? Because if we lie, then everything goes to the ditch right away. And that's why it is extremely important for a Muslim not to lie, or even to say the truth in a different manner. Because sometimes you can say the truth to make people believe something else. For example, you know Sayyidina Ibrahim, when they asked him who destroyed the statues, the asnam, he said, this one, the big one. He said, the big one, Kabirahum. Well, the Kabirahum means the biggest of them. He meant his big thumb. But they understood that it is the big statue that broke it. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one time he was traveling and they met people from the enemies. So they asked him, where are you from? He said, min ma', water. They understood it is a tribe that's called ma'. But actually, ma' means وَخَلَقْنَا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ مِنَ الْمَاءِ. We have created everything from water. Ma' is water. They asked him, where are you from? He said, we are from water. Ma'. They understood it's the tribe. But this is in case of life and death. But not, like for example also when you're trying to do sulh, bringing people together, and you know that Zayn curses Abdullah and Abdullah curses Zayn, but when you go to Zayn, he says, Abdullah always says something nice about you. And you go to Zayd and say, well, Zayn always says something nice about you. When you bring a husband and wife together, you say, well, the husband is always saying nice things. Why? But this is, unfortunately, we call it white lie and we extend it and extrapolate it to everything, but it really is not. It should be to a specific situation, a specific thing. And so now we really have to reflect. We're going to go around now and reflect on this issue. Remember when you were a little kid? And remember things around you? Because, for example, first thing is parents come home and says, you've been watching TV. No, I haven't been watching TV. I mean, you know you've been watching TV. Did you do your homework? Yes. And now a lie brings another lie, brings another lie, brings another lie. And not only that, lie brings arrogancy and stubbornness. Because I'm not gonna, you're not gonna, and then what happened is the trust will be broken. Many homes, there is a problem between parents and sons and daughters. Why? Because the trust is not there. Or the parents may be over suspicious or overprotective. And what happened, because these are the issues that we are facing today. Maybe you guys are so busy with your studies, but actually those are the issues that's happening in every household. They have what? Father, did you do this? Yes, I did. Are you sure you did this? Now, the son knows that he didn't do it, and the father in his heart, he knows he didn't do it, but what can I do? The son is praying and playing and will swear on the Quran that he did it, but while he didn't do it. So let's take it from there. You want to go this way?
Sure.
Okay.
What is it?
Discuss this issue.
As far as the lying goes, the only thing that I wanted to say was that the Muslims should not lie. However, you pointed out in times of life and death, and I've heard times of war, and also to bring people together, to bring relationships together that would have otherwise been separated, that it is permissible to lie, but not in such a degree that you'll transgress on it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all I wanted to say.
Well, actually, there are 2 points can I mention. The first one is not lying, although this is our religion, and by not lying, people are observing you and know that you are not lying. And it happened to me once. I had a colleague. He's a Mormon, and he teaches in the Mormon church. And he came one day. It's like I was talking. This is like 9 years ago. He said, I was talking about yesterday about in church. It's like, why? Like I was telling them that we should not lie, and Muslims don't lie, and my Muslim friend, me, doesn't lie. And I felt like, just by following Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he's saying, that we should not lie, not doing anything, just the da'wah, this is the perfect da'wah. I don't know what's the effect. I mean, I didn't forget this situation for the last 9 years, and I'm sure someone there, this point stuck in their head, and they say, Muslims don't lie. So and not lying could save your life, actually. And my sister-in-law one time, she's a teacher in Egypt, and there was mufattish, like an inspector, the person coming from the
superintendent,
and coming to check on her, and the manager told her, she was away doing something, and the manager told her, tell him that you in the bathroom. She said, no, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna tell him the truth. She said, okay, and then when he asked her, where were you? She told him the truth, and he told her, if you told me anything else, I wouldn't have believed you, but I believe you now, then you're fine.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, I mean, it just by not lying, it saved her. That's the
I don't have anything to say as such. You mentioned not saying the truth is the same as lying. Is that?
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, you have a situation,
right,
and you know what's right and what's wrong,
right,
and you conceal the truth. You could have said the truth, but because there's a friend, because of something, or because you're afraid of yourself, you didn't tell the truth. And it happens all the time.
Is this hadith الساكت عن الحق شيطان?
Yes. The one who is silent, who conceals the truth,
right,
doesn't open his mouth to the truth, is like a silent shaitan.
Mute shaitan.
Right?
Mute shaitan.
Mute shaitan. And believe it or not, most of the problems is you have a friend, and your friend has a problem with another guy. Okay, and you know who's right and who's wrong. You know that your friend is wrong. Because your friend is wrong, you don't talk. But if the other side is wrong, you will open your mouth and say he's wrong. So what do you call this? Because,
Is this hadith الساكت عن الحق شيطان?
yeah. Go ahead.
It's a dilemma. A dilemma.
Say that?
Dilemma.
Oh, it's a dilemma, yeah. And usually this is the case. And that's what the Rasul Sallallahu when a Muslimah stole and have tried to get her off the hook. He said, this is the difference between us and Jahiliyyah. Jahiliyyah, the honorable people, quote unquote, when they steal, they let them go,
Right.
and when the poor does the same mistake, the same sin, they execute them. And this is what it is. As a matter of fact, it's lies, courage, and many other things. And mistrusting the amana that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to do.
I forgot which prophet was the story about prophet having to lie to the Fir'aun, the Prophet Musa, that his wife it wasn't his wife, it was his sister, to the Fir'aun, to avoid the Pharaoh from taking his wife. Wasn't that story?
Oh, this is Sayyidina Ibrahim.
Sayyidina Ibrahim?
Sayyidina Ibrahim.
Yeah, so in that case he was forced to lie, right?
Yeah.
It was a white lie case.
Yeah.
So that's one point. And I forgot exactly what the hadith was, but something about the best jihad is to tell the truth in front of opposition.
Well, سيد الشهداء حمزة. He said سيد الشهداء حمزة. ورجل قام إلى إمام فقال الحق فقتل. This is telling the truth. Then you go in front of a tyrant ruler. Second to Hamza radiallahu anh, is somebody to stand up to a tyrant ruler and tell the truth and get killed for it. This is the one that you mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a reminder of how.
There is telling the truth for Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, and telling the truth on a regular basis, and telling the truth when you are asked about it. Because those are different situations, and it takes different level of courage. That's why I'm glad you brought this up, because the highest level of telling the truth is to get the courage to speak the truth in front of a tyrant, and you know you are going to get killed. Not that maybe. The maybe is you may get off the hook, but you know for a fact you're going to get killed for it. And then the level lower is you tell the truth even if it may be dangerous. Dangerous, maybe not life and death situation, but it will alienate people against you and will take sides against you. And then the other thing is doing a lie because I just want to show off. As a matter of fact, you're going to find a lot of kids, Muslim kids, they lie about having boyfriends and girlfriends because they have to talk to their non-Muslim counterparts or to the Muslim friends who have boyfriends and girlfriends. Now, believe it or not, there's a lot of Muslim kids who are on drugs, who are alcoholic. And some who do not, they just lie about it for the sake of lying, just to make sure that they fit into the group. So this is as far as the lying. What about the trustworthy? Okay, you want to say something?
I really don't have much to say about trustworthiness, but I think I wanted to just bring up hadith that I learned recently. When it was, I think it was Sa'd, radiallahu anh, who came to the Prophet, and he was very distressed, because his mother said to him that, do you believe in Allah? And he said yes, and he said, if you believe in Allah, then Allah said to be good to your parents, and if Allah said to be good to your parents, then you have to renounce Allah, because she was a disbeliever, right?
Yeah.
And she said that she will not eat for she'll never eat unless he believes in Allah. It stops believing in Allah. And so Sa'd was obviously perturbed by it because he was he loved his mother so much, right? And he went to the Prophet, and the Prophet said that your right to Allah is greater than your right to your mother. So basically what I'm trying to say is that Prophet, peace be upon him, if he wasn't trustworthy, you know, that he would just say that, just go to your mother and believe and do what she's saying, you know, then I think that our religion wouldn't be very credible at all. So this is
Well, it's the amana, I mean, amana, and the biggest amana that we have is the message from Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his messenger. And that's what we learned from all the Anbiya. You know, Sayyidina Yusuf, when he was in jail, you know, his biggest concern was the risala, the message, more than getting out of jail. So, I mean, you know, that's where I think we learn from how to keep this amana, to be trustworthy with this amana, which is the message.
I have nothing specific to say about Imana, but both of them collectively, this goes to your earlier point that I think this is especially true in non-Muslim societies where Muslims are a minority, that Islam is judged according to how Muslims interact in the society. And I think these are like trustworthiness and Imana and just not lying. They're very simple traits, but it's something which many of us don't do. And what ends up happening is that Islam is then judged by how Muslims interact in the society. And this is true, for example, if you look at businessmen, Muslim businessmen in foreign societies, or like people from the Indian subcontinent, Muslims from the Indian subcontinent, they tend to have a very bad reputation in a lot of societies for not being honest and truthful. So, and in the end, these things end up being associated with Islam. So.
As a matter of fact, speaking of that, you know, many people, I mean, some people, I'm not going to say, although there are many, but some people who sell zabiha meat.
With what?
Who sells the zabiha meat.
Right. They lie about it.
Yeah, they maybe bring 1 pound of zabiha meat.
Right.
And the rest of everything that they sell is on zabiha. That's number one. Number
so
two.
What happens in that case on us? We're not responsible.
No, you're not responsible for that.
If a shop says it's zabiha,
yeah, you go by whatever they say. And another thing is you find practically in every Muslim household, if they're going to take their car to a Muslim auto repair, they say, oh no, don't give it to Abdullah. You know, you remember last time he took the car and it became worse than it was before. And yes, why? Because there is no trust.
right.
The trust is not there. Why? Because the guys don't really hold the trust that people put in them. Because when you take your car to somebody to fix it, and he give it back to you, you trust him that it's fixed. Especially when he takes the money, that it's fixed.
Right.
Now when you turn around and it wasn't fixed, or half fixed, or he asks you to paint, and instead of using certain quality paint, he uses a less quality paint, and then the next month you find that the paint is peeling off, and all these things, you know, and you're going to find out throughout history, like for example, Imam Ahmad, he used to sell material, and one time he has to go somewhere and left his nephew in the store. So somebody came from out of town and asked him about this material. He said, well, this is how much you would pay for it. The guy said, well, I'll pay 300 for it. He said, well, I'll sell it to you for 200. While they actually sell it for 100. So he thought he's making profit for his uncle. So while his uncle is coming back, Imam Ahmad, he met the guy walking with this material. So he asked him, where did you buy it from? He said, buy it from nowhere. It was a steal. He said, it was a steal. Well, it was 300. He said, how much did you pay for it? He said, when he found out that he overcharged for it, he pulled it back and took him to the store and told his nephew that this is not the way we do business. This is not the way we do business. Although here they say whatever the traffic bears. If people can pay like the gas, if people keep buying, then let's charge them. And now you can realize that just being honest, just being trustworthy. Because trustworthy also, when somebody tells you something, you don't go tell it to everybody. Trustworthy when you know something about somebody, even they didn't tell you. You don't really go and give it to everybody. Because believe it or not, many of the problems in communities and families is what? You tell somebody something and you go and tell it to everybody. Or you know somebody something wrong about them, or they did something wrong, instead of covering them up and backing them, you're going to tell everybody about them. And believe it, isn't Rasul says, whoever cover up for his brother in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cover up for him on the day of judgment. And those are, when we relate the two of them, we can see the difference in this dunya and in the hereafter. Because now what we're trying to do here is we're trying to tell people, our Muslim brothers and sisters, that they have to be trustworthy, they have to be honest, and we have to tell them why, and we have to convince them. So the floor is yours.
To convince people to be honest?
Yeah, and to be trustworthy. And the best way is people can tell stories, real stories. You know, usually a story, as they always say, a picture is worth 1,000,000 words or 1,000 words. A story also is, it registers with people. Personal experience, it registers with people. No, you open the door for somebody else.
It's hard to say because I guess I'm not being trustworthy enough to find any personal examples to tell you.
Okay. I'm just 21, huh? I'm just 21, I'm not 63, yeah? Okay, now we have to take our halqa one step forward, which means we have to be prepared. Why? Because that we have to be prepared. And we said we're going to work on 3 fronts. Mental, which is intellectual, spiritual, and physical. Anybody did any exercises last week? Walking, going up the stairs and down the stairs. Any physical exercises? What do you do?
We went running yesterday, 2 a.m.
2 a.m. in the
Yeah.
morning? You were running from somebody?
Yeah.
No,
I was ready for my homework.
yeah, okay.
My test.
Okay. So you usually do that on a regular basis?
Yeah, try to.
What about you, Brother Basu?
I go to the gym.
Mm.
I go to the gym.
You go to the
for
gym?
5 days, yeah. But not doing weights, other stuff. Like
Okay.
running or ellipticals and stuff.
Okay, okay. What about you?
I go to the gym.
You don't go to the gym? The gym
Once a
costs you-
week, and normally I play badminton. But
Oh, you
not
play
this week.
badminton?
Yeah.
On video games or real game?
I haven't seen any badminton video games yet.
Was that right?
I
Oh,
haven't
you should
I
see the new games now. The new games, the one that they have this little stick.
The Wii?
I don't know what they call it.
The Wii?
Nintendo Wii, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have tennis, they have
Then I went.
golf, they have every sport now. They have bowling and
It's beautiful.
eh?
That's my exercise.
That's it. Because we have to have at least minimum exercises, just even if you're going to stand up and walk in place or run in place, at least you just keep your blood circulating and get some sweat. And now the next one is the intellectual. Anybody read anything, any book, any spiritual book last week?
I was listening to
Or listen.
a whole lecture on Al-Adab al-Mufrad, Imam Bukhari's book
Okay.
of manners.
Okay. Let's make a habit. Have a couple books next to the bed. And before you go to sleep, just read a few pages. Just a few pages. And it would be nice if it's hadith or Sirat al-Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because here is what we're trying to do. We're trying to imitate al-Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So let's pick up a book that you like, that tells something about the life of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the life of the Sahaba, and just read it, and because you know why? Because sometimes when you read something before you go to sleep, you may even dream about it and may sink in and will start fermenting, like fermentation process. It really reaction with oneself. Now, on the other thing, spiritually, we said we're going to try to go from praying within time or in time to on time. We want to develop this urge, and we develop our body clock to work with the prayer times. You know, some people, they wake up on their own, so we want to make sure that you guys pray Fajr together?
Not everyone.
Okay.
Just one or two.
Okay, fine. One or two, that's, and as a matter of fact, here's what you can do with the other 9, right? Because you said there are 9 of you, right? Let's agree on the 3-ring system. You know the 3-ring system? The first ring is your alarm clock. The second ring is your phone ring. The third ring is?
Knock on the door.
Yes, the doorbell. So let's try the first two bells. For yourself, the alarm, and the phone to call each other. Because you know why? Because when the bigger the jama'ah, the better off we are. And this is kind of da'wah that we can make sure that we can, all of us agree to pray jama'ah, because you pray Isha and you pray Fajr. And as the Rasul said, whoever prays jama'ah for Isha as if he stood up half of the night, and if he prayed Fajr in jama'ah as if he stood up the other half of the night. So it's a sawab for everyone. It's a really reward for everybody. And prayers on time is now, the other thing is we need to have a little bit of Quran that we read every day. Even it's 1 page, even half a page, even a quarter of a page, even 1 verse. And we can do one thing in the future. I don't know if you guys want to do that or not, but maybe we can try to, let's start with Surah Yasin and try to memorize Surah Yasin. And we'll do it 5 verses at a time. What do you want?
Who is it?
I don't know, let's see. Even
Say it again?
No.
Who is it?
I have to read.
Okay. We're gonna be leaving. Yeah. 9:30.
9:30?
Oh, well, because if we start at 8 o'clock, we would leave by 9:30. And I know we came late, you were here.
But can we start early? 8 is a little late.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, you want to start? What time you want to start?
No, I don't know. Is 8 the time which works for people or what?
Well, you tell me.
Half an hour earlier or something?
We can start half an hour. We started 7:30 last week, but we started 8:30.
8?
No, we started 8:30. Okay, you want to do 7:30? We'll do it 7:30. Okay, inshallah. So you're gonna come next week.
Inshallah.
Get prepared.
Wait.
You tell us. We are the messenger of the messengers, okay? Because here's what you're gonna do. Every time, every meeting we meet, somebody will tell us something about the character of Rasulullah, or something about the message, or something about delivering the message. Because those are the three tripod that we have to stand on it. The message, the messenger, and how to deliver the message. Okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر جزاكم الله بارك الله فيكم and look up this thing on the YouTube and we'll see, give a critique to it, okay, or spread the word. Okay, so you're gonna download it?
Sure.